Oh man, I'm on my way to work. My clock-in job. I'm grateful. Actually, my job is actually pretty cool. Like, I get to work pretty much 4 hours, Monday through Friday, make my money. I have time to take the girls to school or camp, get them ready. I get 2 hours from the time I drop them off to the time I'm supposed to clock in. And then I work for 4 hours and I get off in time to pick them up. As a single mom, that's such a privilege. I get that. I have designed my life in a way where that's enough for us. You know what I mean? But also, doing my work on the side every minute that I get. And I think what's so interesting is that, like, I'm not like a hustle type. I'm not motivated by that. I feel like, I'm not saying it's a lie, because you can do it that way. It's just not the most efficient way to create things, right? but I love to work, because the work that I do is just my creative expression. It's me just internalizing my experiences or whatever, like sitting with it. It's the stuff that I do anyways, you know what I mean? But I capture it and I share it. And I'm in the beginning stages of that vision and that unfolding. And it's so fun. Like, I started doing my podcast with visuals about a year ago now. And honestly, it's one of the best decisions that I've made in my life, because and it had been building up for years. So it's like, finally I got the green light. I had the capacity to do it, and the timing was really great, and I love it here. I literally am doing the exact same thing that I will be doing when literally like the millions of dollars will start rolling in, because I'm talking about, like, I'm gonna write movies, direct and produce them, you know what I mean, music, all kinds of things, like all kinds of creative endeavors. And I'm like, I know that those things were put into my heart for a reason, those dreams and longings and desires. So that earlier this morning I was running some errands and I was recording a video, and only I wasn't again. You would think I would learn of, like, it's because I don't look at the camera a lot, especially when I'm driving, because I'm driving. And it was such a beautiful energy, and I was just, at the end, I was like a little bummed that I wasn't recording, just because I love to go back and sit in the energy. But also, it was like, what a beautiful moment to have had experience. And it was just like, I was talking about the summer solstice is on Sunday. Sunny Sunday for the summer solstice. That's pretty cool. And I'm gonna go hike. I was gonna go a different day, but I'm gonna go that day because I want to be out catching the sun rays and the sunlight and grounding to the earth. And it's always a very, like, meditative experience for me. I go by myself, usually don't have anything in my ears or headphones or anything like that, and it's just this beautiful experience. So I'm hiking that mountain once a month for the year of 2026, which to me kind of like is proving to myself and demonstrating my versatility physically, emotionally, mentally, in all the ways, and just me showing up for myself, and also like moving energy. I just knew that this year was a big transformation and portal, and I'm like, I need to be moving energy out constantly in a really big way where I exert a lot of energy and movement in my body to release. So that's this weekend. And I just think it's so poetic and beautiful with the summer solstice, because I've been feeling that I'm in the midst of this like portal. I've talked about this a lot, and my new life is approaching, you know what I mean? Like, I can feel it coming in. And what I got this morning, the thing that I was talking about, I used to be Christian, and I have a lot of like biblical information. So a lot of times messages that come through from God, from Spirit, from the universe are biblically based, and I think that's really beautiful. I love that. I'm not Christian anymore, but I still follow truth where truth resides, you know. And so what I had been kind of over the last week seeing like milk and honey, and then the other day I was reminded of manna, you know, manna. There's a story in the Old Testament of God's chosen people, the Hebrews, the original Hebrews, and how they were in the wilderness. I believe they were exiled from Egypt. Is that right? They didn't have anywhere to go, and they were here, and God's like, I'm going to place you here, and you're going to be here until you're not here any longer, and you can trust me, and I will provide for you. And there was a thing called manna, which was either it was bread already made or was the ingredients to make the bread. So the resources to make food for everybody, or food for everybody. And the thing with the manna was that you could only take and use what was good for that day. You couldn't like hoard it and save it, because you had to trust that God would provide again the next day. And so it would either spoil by the end of the day, or it, like, I think that's what happened, or it disappeared. Is that right? Anyways, you couldn't save it. You couldn't save it to plan ahead. You had to trust that the next day God would just provide again, you know. And I got that the other day when I was like talking about scarcity, and just how that's exactly what it is. Just like with your oxygen, with your next breath, literally, where else does my next breath come from but from Creator, from God, from that divine, beautiful, benevolent love of God delights in our joy. God delights in giving us good gifts, and not just for survival, and not even thriving, but for coming fully alive. You know what I mean? It's not about the material things, but it is about being able to be in a body where you have the capacity to be able to enjoy joy, to be able to rest in inner peace, whatever it is. Because as it turns out, no matter what type of material shit you have accumulated in your life, if you don't have the capacity in your body with which to receive it and enjoy it, it's useless. Ask some billionaires who, you know, money can't buy them peace, joy, or love. But I digress. And it was like, the analogy was so cool because it kept like swaying in and out. You know, they were in that wilderness for 40 years, and I was like, oh shit, I'm 40. And it feels like I've been in that state of survival of like, yeah, God does always come through, but it always feels like it's in the last minute, and it's just enough almost to the penny. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful. Like, those moments still feel like so much magic of like, yes, thank you. I knew you would. And maybe it's somewhat of like a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, that's what I knew my reality to be. And so like, that's what I was expecting. So that's what I received. And now I feel like this year of 2026 that I have decided and I'm taking beautiful like choices and action into being a year of devotion to myself. Like, this is the portal. This is what it took for me to move from the wilderness into my promised land that is flowing with milk and honey. Literally, like, you will see what I'm talking about. You will see what I'm talking about after this year. You will see it, because it's promised to me. It's literally my promised land. My promise is it's gonna rain joy and every desire of your heart. You know, delight yourself in the Lord, will give you the desires of your heart. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added to you. This is what it is. And this year has been that portal of transformation of what it takes to actually energetically, which I feel like I've been making that shift a long time coming, and it's still, you know, in process, but a lot of that work has been done to where now I could see in my physical life and my physical reality that, oh shit, like it's happening, and it's time. And this year, this time of summer solstice is very activating. It's very like, okay, spring was kind of like a soft launch, and you know, like in December and January, February, March, April even, I was still in the midst of being invited to fast, of like hibernation, of presence, of stillness, of deep listening, of reverence, of nourishing my body in full devotion to myself, and so much stillness and silence with God and with Spirit, which is still my home. Like that's my birthplace, my home, my homeostasis, always my heart space. But like now it's like, you know, even through Aries season, there was some fire that kind of helped me. Like I used that energy to help me to make actual decisive moves in my life to say, I will no longer accept less than I deserve, no matter where it comes from, no matter what is being offered on the table. And for the first time in my life, I'm choosing me. And that's the trigger of this portal shifting. And now, in this summer solstice energy and just summer in general, being fully activated in this whatever this is, this vision, this calling, these works, these creative endeavors, all of this, like I can feel it, and I'm doing it, and I'm inspired, and there's so much that I want to do through inspiration, through like inspired action, and like just not even buying the lie of obligation or not enough time. It's like, no, everything in divine timing, everything is divinely resourced and funded, and with the right people and networking and collaboration and everything, all of it, you know what I mean? And I love this journey, honestly. Like I just love this process. It's so beautiful. And one of my favorite things is that I've been able to document it through the podcast, through these videos, because I want to go back and witness this as a process to myself, because I know what my life is going to look like and feel like, and I know the version of me that I'm becoming, and I'm gonna love it. But this time right now, like I just have so much gratitude for this exact version of myself that had to sit with the discomfort of grieving so many things, that even though you loved people, you loved experiences, or you loved this or you loved that, like you still had to say, yes, but I need to choose myself right now. It's time. You've devoted your life outwardly for your whole life. It's time to choose yourself and watch how beautiful, not just you blossom, but your life, your daughters, your work, your creative endeavors, your desires of your heart, your calling, your purpose, your walk in heart space with God, your intuition, you know. It's so beautiful. It's so exciting and in a way thrilling if I was living in that future energy, but I'm not. Like I really enjoy this process, this version of it, this, because even this is light years better than the way I was existing before in other relationships and just abandoning myself. And it's like, damn, I am so sorry. Never again. Never again will I allow for anyone or anything to come in and just take. I'm not even that person anymore. I couldn't even pretend that I would be okay with that. And I love that for me. Happy summer solstice. Maybe take some time to like journal your heart's desires, intentions, things you want to create in your life. This is a collective astrological energy, astrological weather that you can use to ride the waves, which is kind of cool. Anyways, have a good day.